Today we shall be looking at a question to illustrate a topic in physics, dimension. The question says, find the dimension of question A, velocity, question B, acceleration, and question B, power. But before we proceed, let's look at the basis of dimension. The dimension for mass is capital M. Anything that has to do with mass is capital M. The dimension for anything that has to do with length, is L, capital L. Then the dimension that has to do with time, capital T. So these are the things that we are going to be using. Dimension for anything that has to do with mass is capital M, for length is capital L, and for time is capital T. Now let's look at the first one, velocity. Before we can calculate dimension for velocity, we need to know the definition of velocity. And what is velocity? Velocity is the distance traveled in a specified direction over time, or we can say is displacement over time. Displacement and distance, they are used interchangeably in physics, and the dimension corresponds to length, and that is capital L, over dimension for time is capital T. Using laws of indices, it's same thing as saying L T raised power minus 1. So the dimension for velocity is equals to L T raised to power minus 1. Now let's look at the second one. Question B. Dimension for acceleration. Acceleration is velocity all over time. And having known that velocity is distance over time, so we have distance over time, that is velocity. Then we have again divided by time. So doing this together, we shall be having distance over time, changing division to multiplication, that becomes 1 over time. Now let's put in the dimension symbols. The dimension for distance is what? Capital L. Dimension for time, capital T, times 1 over dimension for time again, we have capital T, and that will give us 1 over T times T will give us T squared. And using the laws of indices, that will be equals to L T minus 2. That is the dimension for acceleration. Now the third one says power. Now what do you think will be the formula for power? Like I told you, before you can get any dimension, you must know the formula for what you are looking for. Now what do you think it will be the formula for power? Power equals work done over time taken. But work done is force times distance. You can see the way we are breaking them down gradually. Why force itself now is now equals to mass times acceleration. then times distance, then over time. We have done all this before. Now, what is the dimension for mass? Dimension for mass is capital M. We just finished doing dimension for acceleration, and that is L(t) minus 2 times dimension for distance is L, then all over time. And that gives us what now? That is same as saying M using your loss of indices, L times L, the bases are the same, so we add that up, 1 plus 1, that is 2. Then we have T minus 2 divided by T, that is T raised power minus divided by T. The bases are the same. When you are doing division, you subtract, there is minus 1. Therefore, dimension for power becomes mL2 T raised power minus 3. We shall be looking at more questions on dimension.